Hey guys, it is NCS Fan 001 here for a nice Tuesday Trophy Talk video. Today's date is Tuesday, March 25th, 2025. So this will have covered the week of March the 17th through the 24th of 2025. This was a reasonably productive week overall. I got a couple of platinum trophies. Definitely happy overall with how things went. Got a few good streams in, all that kind of good stuff. And then, of course, Power Wash Simulator, I can point out again, I think I mentioned this last time, but just in case I didn't, Power Wash Simulator 2 has officially been announced, which means that we probably are not going to get any more. Well, I know that we're not going to get any more paid DLC for Power Wash, which means that we're not going to get any more Trophy Sport, most likely. But I think they still have one or two more of the Muckingham file levels to release. And those have never had trophies. They're just sort of smaller level story type packs. So presumably they won't get trophies. Especially given that none of the other ones of those have, like none of the free DLCs ever get trophies. And then also Fallout 76, the Ghoul update has officially fully released, and apparently it's not anything all that amazing, and it definitely does not have any trophies because, well, no trophies were added. Not even a new DLC, not anything else like that added on to a previous DLC, nothing like that. Which means it's entirely possible we might actually be done getting Fallout 76 DLC trophies as well. I know they still have the fishing update coming, and I know there's going to be like another big update over the summer, but I mean, at this rate, I don't know, because Skyline Valley didn't get it, the Ghoul update didn't, nothing else really ever does, Fosnoct has never gotten it. I don't know, I guess we'll have to see. But in terms of progress made this week, it was on a total of 4 different games, technically 3 different games, just 2 different versions of one of them. And one of those was LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, for the PS5. So I finished the Platinum Trophy for the game, and it was an absolutely wonderful time. This Platinum Trophy was awesome. This is some of the most fun I've had trophy hunting in a while, probably since, well, I wouldn't say a while, probably since like LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga a couple of months ago. But this game was an absolute blast to play through, a massive, massive nostalgia trip. It was just so much fun. And the streams for this series did extremely well by my channel standards. So I want to thank everyone out there who tuned in for any of those, because like I said, quite a few of those streams did extremely well compared to a lot of the streams that I do on the channel. So very happy about that. Since it seems that this game was so popular, I am probably going to prioritize and do the next trophy, like major trophy video, and have it go ahead and be this game instead of going with, you know, Astro's Playroom and some of those other ones that I needed to do. So I'm probably going to bump this one up in priority just because people, again, really, really enjoyed it or enjoyed the series. So definitely want to capitalize on that, especially if they ever were to release like LEGO Star Wars 1, or if they were to do like LEGO Indiana Jones or Batman or one of those, maybe even the complete saga. Those will all obviously be day one play and purchase, just like this one was. But in terms of the Platinum Trophy, this is not a particularly hard LEGO game, but it does have a few quirks to it that we'll get into as we go through it. So you get 3 trophies simply for finishing the game's story, which is 18 total missions. You have to finish a chapter with a full True Jedi meter on both story mode and free play mode, because this is one of, if not the only LEGO game where you have to fill the meter separately in story and free play, which is really, really weird. It might have happened in like one other game, but I'm not actually sure if it ever did. You have to complete all of the mini kits in a single level, which you're going to get along the way to getting all the gold bricks. You have to complete one round of challenge mode, which is basically a speedrun mode that was actually exclusive to the PSP version until the Complete Saga came out. The Complete Saga actually also had this challenge mode. Jeez, there was another loud thing flying over me. That happens a lot more nowadays than it used to. But you just have to get one gold brick in challenge mode. You're going to have to get all the gold bricks in the game anyway, but we'll get to that here in a second. You have to collect any one power brick, so you actually do not need to collect all of the power bricks in the game, or red bricks as they're generally known. You only need to find one of them, technically, and it can be any of them. The first one you can get during the story is during the 3rd level of Episode 4. Then you can get your first score multiplier in the 6th level of Episode 4, which is very, very useful, as you can use the red bricks to make your life a lot easier when it comes to completing the True Jedi meters, as well as just grinding studs toward a couple of later trophies. You have to complete a super story and get the best time in a super story, which is an hour. Now, this one is very easily done with episode 4's super story. You can finish that one in like 40 minutes, no real issue. Episode 5 is a little bit tougher. It took about 51-ish minutes. And then episode 6 normally is pretty tough, but I had like a god tier run of it and got through it in like 53 minutes or something, which I've never done it that fast before. So very happy with that. You have to beat the best time for a character bonus and for a mini-kit bonus, so both of these are fairly easy. You just have to grab 1,000,000 studs in a certain time limit, which is either 5, 6, or 7 minutes, depending on the level. Neither of these are particularly hard, but you are going to have to do all 6 total, so 3 of each throughout the game, because there's 1 of each per episode. Then you have to get all the gold bricks in the game, so collect all the gold bricks in each of the 3 episodes. There are 33 per episode for a grand total of 99 in this version. Basically, to get the gold bricks, you have to complete the level, then you get 2 for completing the 2 different stud meters, and then you have to finish challenge mode, and finally you have to find all the mini kits within a level. Again, the red bricks are actually not required for the most part for this platinum, which is kind of nice. The earlier that you can get one of the stud multipliers, obviously the better, because then you can start utilizing it to very easily get all of these stud meters filled, especially the ones in the story. Even though the ones in the story usually require less, it's just more annoying when you have to go back and replay story missions because then you can't skip the cutscenes or anything. And that's another weird thing about this game when it comes to the collectibles and replaying levels, is that unlike pretty much all of the other LEGO games, this one follows in the same path as the original LEGO Star Wars, where if you quit in the middle of a level, it does not save the studs or other collectibles that you picked up, which is really, really annoying. I could have sworn it was a thing they did on the PS2 version, but maybe it wasn't. I mean, I honestly don't know. It must not have been a thing on that version. Then you have to complete the LEGO City level, which is the bonus level. It's the first time ever that we got this particular level. Basically, you run around in a LEGO City, and you have to collect 1,000,000 studs. There's not a lot of room for error in most of these. Definitely make sure to use the force on the windows on everything before destroying buildings, because there are a few studs you can get from those. Though you don't need every single stud to win this, you just need the vast, vast majority of them. You have to purchase all the hints, which only costs about like 3,000 studs, so that's super cheap, very easy to do. Purchase any character, that's pretty much unmissable. Purchase any ghost character, just any of them works for this. There's only 3 in the game, but they each cost at least 1,000,000 studs, so keep that in mind, and you don't unlock them until after you finish the main story. Purchasing any extra toggle is just purchase any of the extras. There are several available from the beginning of the game that only cost like 5 to 10,000 studs, so you can purchase any of those. But you're definitely going to be wanting to purchase all of the stud multipliers for a few of these later trophies. And that's because the economy in this game is known for being kind of broken, because getting to 6 million studs in this game, or even to 2 million studs, is really quite a bit more difficult, or at least grindy, than it was in a lot of the later LEGO games. This is partially because you can't even purchase the 2x stud multiplier until you have 2 million studs, which takes a very long time to grind to, because even if you start like replaying the very first mission of the game and are getting over 100,000 for each like 10-minute run of that trying to get everything, I mean, or 150,000 or something, it's still going to take quite a few runs and a couple of hours of farming just to get to 2 million, and then you have to use that for a while to farm your way up to the 4x multiplier and stuff like that. But thankfully there is sort of a workaround to those that we're about to get to. You have to finish these 3 extra bonus levels on the PS2 and GameCube versions. They were bounty hunter missions, and on this version it's literally just ports of the 3 levels that concluded the 3 movies from the first LEGO Star Wars game. You just have to finish them in story mode. There's no mini kits to collect. There's technically a true Jedi meter, but you can't even see it. It just tells you if you hit it or not. Create any custom character, just make any one change to a character and you'll get this one. Purchase all of the characters in the game. It's going to cost quite a few millions of studs. Purchase all the vehicles. This one's a little bit easier. It costs less than 1,000,000 studs for all the vehicles, and there's only like 5 of them. And then 4 billion studs at once is a lot in this game, though it's actually the maximum that the stud counter can reach. That's why this trophy exists. The good thing is that you can actually get this fairly easily once you have found all 99 gold bricks. Once you collect all 99, you can build a fountain that infinitely generates studs outside of the cantina. Now, even with that, you're still going to get your studs kind of slowly until you manage to get more of the multipliers going, because I think that by the time that I even got the fountain unlocked. I think I only had the ×2 and the ×4 unlocked. So, I mean, I was still able to make studs reasonably fast, and I got all those remaining trophies in a single night within like an hour and a half or something. But it was still really, really annoying having to farm studs in a LEGO game because it's really not something you have to do in most of the later ones. So definitely a bit unique to this one, as well as unique to the very first LEGO Star Wars, which if we ever get a port of that one, I'm sure is probably going to be even less enjoyable in that particular sense, because the original one does not have a stud fountain in it. It didn't even have gold bricks. So really about the only way you could really grind studs kind of quickly was to just keep replaying the bonus mission and get like 100 to 120,000 per run. But had an absolute blast with this game. So glad it came out with trophies. It was a great time for it to come out with trophies because life has been very tiring lately, we'll just say that. And I've talked about that a little bit on streams. So it was very nice to have this as a nice little break from all of that. Now, the PS4 version I'm not streaming, although I might stream like the very end of it whenever I'm going for the Platinum on like a final stream or just a final day of playing this game. But so far, I finished Episode 4. I have filled a True Jedi meter in story mode and in free play. I found all the mini kits on a level. I've collected a single power brick. I've collected multiple power bricks by this point, though I think that the only level... I think I've only played through the first like 7 levels of this game so far. And then beat the best time for any character bonus. Already did that. I can now do the mini kit one because I didn't have a mini kit unlocked prior to this. And then I customized or purchased a character and an extra, just purchased the cheapest ones. And I completed Darth Maul's level, which was of course very easy. I also created a custom character. And yeah, that's everything I've done so far. I'm currently, trying to save up studs. I have maybe 600,000 so far. So definitely just trying to save those up to get to 2 million and get that first multiplier. And now we get to the Sly Cooper games. So first off, we have Sly 1 on the PS4. This is another Sly Cooper game completely finished, which means we only have 2 of them left entirely, and then we are forever done with the franchise, unless they either like remake or remaster Sly 4 or actually give us a sequel, which I really don't think is ever going to happen. But you never know these days. So Sly 1 was traditionally probably the easiest one back on the PS3 era, simply because it was so much shorter than the other ones. You did have to find a lot of collectibles, but the PS3 and Vita versions, you really didn't have to do that much else. Basically just find all the collectibles, open all the vaults, and beat the game, and that was pretty much it. Which this time around, it's not that much different, but there are some miscellaneous trophies added in. So you get 3 trophies for finishing each episode, like finishing all the jobs in it, as well as opening all the vaults, which just requires you to find all the clue bottles throughout 20 different levels, and then defeat the boss of each area. Sir Raleigh is very easy to beat. Mugshot's definitely one of the tougher bosses. Miss Ruby is arguably the hardest boss, purely because it just doesn't function correctly, because it's that series of QuickTime events, but it just doesn't really work correctly. Panda King's probably the easiest boss, along with Sir Raleigh, and then Clockwork isn't too bad. So then you start getting a lot of miscellaneous trophies. A lot of the major levels do have a single miscellaneous trophy, so this is the very first level of the game. Just destroy any 4 signs, very easy way to get you started. For this one, not grabbing any hooks. This one you just have to have a very specific path going forward. It's a sort of a speedrun strategy anyway. Then this one you can actually do. This one isn't too bad. I feel like I did use like the very first barrel in the level, but not the ones after that. So I don't know if maybe I'm just misremembering that. This one, again, this is another one where it's a sort of a speedrun strategy. You're going to see that a lot in this game. Then 7 panes of glass. There's only 7 of them, and there's a few right at the beginning, so make sure you get the ones at the very beginning. This one is unmissable while going for all the bottles. This one is fairly straightforward once you have their patterns and everything down. It's not too hard to do. Then this one is actually pretty easy because Carmelita's gun is really, really slow in this version of the game, so her shots are pretty easy to avoid. This one is slightly annoying just because there's 1 or 2 guards that are a little bit finicky with managing to hit them without being detected. A little bit random sometimes, but still not too bad. Then 5 ghosts in a single attack. This one was really, really buggy on the PS5 version. I thankfully got it a lot faster on the PS4 version. Then this one's pretty easy, plus you can skip a whole bunch of this one just by taking damage. This one was pretty easy overall. I don't remember this one causing too many problems. Getting 5 clue bottles is super, super easy. You'll get this one of your first trophies in the game. Then this one's interesting because you do have to let yourself get alerted by everything, which is slightly annoying just because, I mean, it's very easy to end up getting yourself killed because you die in one hit. So just be a bit careful and definitely use the stealthy moves on this one. Then this one is easy. It just takes a few minutes because you have to keep re-climbing up to hit every single one of them, and there's like 10 or 12 of them. This one's super easy. It's right at the beginning of the level. Just hit 2 specific fireworks. Duel by the Dragon, though, is the one level that you can't 100% complete it your first time through because the last safe or last vault can't be opened until you have beaten the final boss, so just keep that in mind. Then 2 or more enemies with the same mine. This one is pretty easy to do in that casino level where you have to kill those 4 guards at the very beginning. Then this one you won't get until much later in the game because you don't get this ability until kind of late in the game, like the 3rd area. Once you get there, just start making sure that you look at every enemy you can, and if you have to, you can go back to the earlier areas as well. These are both found in various vaults, so you'll get those along the way. This is an unmissable story trophy for the very end of the game. And this is by far the hardest overall trophy in the game, as the Master Thief sprints are not easy. They are fairly challenging overall. You do have to be kind of careful with them because a lot of them do have very tight time limits. But thankfully, you only have to finish 10 of the 20 available, and there's definitely a solid 10 of them that aren't too terribly difficult to do, especially on a second playthrough of the game on this other version. So, along with the rewind feature, you shouldn't have too many problems with this. There are a few that are definitely very annoying, but just go with whatever the 10 easiest ones are for you. This time around, I think I ended up doing more in the first area, like maybe 3 of them in the first area, then maybe 2 in the casino. Then I think I actually did 4, so all 4 of the ones in the swamp, because, I don't know, I found those to be relatively easy overall. And then I did only have to do like 1 or 2 in the Panda King area, so I don't know what the exact most popular ones are, but definitely certain ones are easier than others, and with the rewind feature, you'll get them down eventually. They just might take a few tries. So that was Sly 1, got this one platinumed, 100%ed, which means that all we have left are the 2 versions of Sly 3. Now, Sly 3 is definitely the most difficult of the new series of Sly games, because unlike with Sly 2, where it's really just like collectibles and miscellaneous stuff and purchasing things, or Sly 1, where it's, you know, collectibles and a few Master Thief sprints, this time around 100%ing the game is a little bit more involved in a certain category, which is these Master Thief challenges. Each level has several Master Thief challenges you can unlock by playing through the episode, and some of these challenges are very, very annoying. So basically, these are modified versions of story levels of the game, but they give you some kind of additional challenge. Usually it's either cutting your health in half or giving you a time limit to get through the area. So sometimes there might be something a little bit different. A few of them are more unique than that, but usually those are your 2 different types of challenges you'll have to do. And admittedly, some of them are definitely kind of difficult. Even with the rewind feature, some of them have very tight time limits or can be quite challenging to do. And I know that there's going to be some really rough ones coming up later on in the game, such as I think there's 2 related to fighting General Sao, and those were really, really annoying on the PS3 version, so definitely not looking forward to doing those again, even with the rewind. But thank God for the rewind, because it makes life a whole heck of a lot easier with this game. Currently, I'm about maybe halfway to 2/3 of the way through Flight of Fancy's story, but haven't started on the challenges for it yet. And then, of course, haven't gone off to episode 4, 5, or 6. Episode 5 is where you're going to farm all of your money at because, well, you're going to need a lot of money to purchase everything, and it's by far the best place to do it. You also can't finish all the Master Thief challenges until you have gone through episode 5, because that's what unlocks the treasure hunting challenges. And there's like 1 per area. Then you start getting your miscellaneous trophies. Thankfully, you can replay story missions as needed, so there's no issue with that. But this is one of the earliest levels of the game. You're going to be playing as Carmelita for a short period of time, so just destroy any 5 signs hanging around during it. So pretty much like 2 to 3 miscellaneous trophies per area. This one is very easy. Just wait until a guard walks over a water trap and trigger it on them. This one you can't do until you have actually like finished the game, because you don't get all the disguises until you've come close to the end of the game. And then this one's pretty easy, although it just requires a specific type of guard. I ended up doing this with the one with the whip and using the whip attack. I'm sure the gun one would also work. This one is during one of the most infamous little missions in the game, one of the strangest missions in the game, or in the entire franchise, you know the one. But it's actually a very, very easy trophy. And then this one is also, this one's a little bit more annoying as well, just because the ball move isn't the most powerful, and some of the guards in that area are quite tough to kill, so just try to target the weaker guards. Then we got into this one, which is pretty easy. Just jump onto the radar dish in episode 3, which you can do at any time at the airfield. And this one was a little bit annoying. It would have been very, very difficult without the rewind feature. I think that maybe hiding on the buildings, that's what people were suggesting in the comments, but I was able to do it just by rewinding while staying on the ground. But it's definitely one of the more tricky ones. This one I'm not entirely sure how to do, but I'm assuming it's fairly easy. I'm just not entirely sure where to do it at. And then there are... Ooh, yep, that is probably... Well, actually, no, I don't know if that's the exact really difficult mission or not. But yeah, it looks like 3 for episode 4 and 3 for episode 5, which I think the rank of Dread Pirate is just for, like, destroying a whole bunch of enemy ships, which you'll have to do to make money anyway. And then a few from the Ancestors Gauntlet and the final area of the game, and then a miscellaneous trophy for each of our characters. Sly's miscellaneous trophy is actually very, very easy. It's just like the one in Sly 2, though I feel like it was almost easier this time around, and I got it way earlier. Pickpocket loot with each of the 3 characters. These are just abilities that you get later in the game for the other 2 characters. You can start out the game doing this with Sly, but you don't get the abilities for Bentley and Murray until a bit later. Purchasing all the power-ups is very grindy in this game because you don't get as much money as easily as it comes in Sly 2, so just keep that in mind. And then the gallery for all episodes. I assume that you just can't do this until you've like finished all of the story missions and maybe even all the Master Thief challenges. So yeah, definitely the hardest of the 3 new Sly trophy lists. But we are working through it, 2 streams in. We are a good chunk of the way through episode 3. So probably at least another 3, probably 4 more streams for this game, just because I think some of the later areas do get longer, and then some of the challenges are definitely going to get harder. So let's go ahead and sync up our trophies. Alright, level 891, 20%, 30,046 total trophies, of course past that 30,000 mark in the previous update, 861 platinums, 5,731 golds, 8,089 silvers, 15,365 bronzes. So, plans for the upcoming week. I want to continue working on LEGO Star Wars 2 on the PS4, continue making progress on that, of course, and then Sly 3 on some subsequent streams, and those are the 2 main games. I might also get started on the PS4 version of Sly 3 at some point soon, and that's really all the major focuses right now, because I'm not really sure what I'm going to play like next after this. And I'm still got Black Ops 3 installed just to continue working on some stuff for that guide, so that's going to take a little while longer to finish. But other than that, it's really just those 2 main games. The schedule should be fairly normal this week. I mean, probably like, I don't know if it'll be streams like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, or just like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Thursday, Friday, Sunday. We will figure all that out, but there will definitely be a few streams this week. It'll probably be Sly 3 the entire time, unless I decide to maybe jump in and do something else, like maybe do a community game choice night, whatever you want to call it, where I just let you guys choose the game out of my library of random stuff to play. Or I might even just go and play like one of the other, like, I've got a few games in there that are kind of large file sizes that I really just probably need to go ahead and do and get them out of the way. So yeah, we will see what we decide to do. But thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell if you haven't done so already. Let me know down in the comments what kind of progress you guys made on your trophies this week. With the Thrillville video going up on Monday, the next one I'm going to work on, like I mentioned before, is going to be LEGO Star Wars 2. So I'm definitely going to try to work on that while it's sort of got some momentum behind it. And then we will get back in with things like Astro's Playroom and Black Ops 6 and all those other games that I still have to do videos for. And then I don't know what I'm going to do after the Sly series is done. I mentioned maybe doing all the Siphon Filter games in a video, or maybe I just find something else that I want to play, or it's possible that I might just spend a little bit of time, like once the Sly games are done, I might just spend a little bit of time streaming a couple of other games that I don't turn into like massive videos or anything like that, but we'll have to see, because I mean I'm kind of far behind on those obviously. So yeah, we will see about all of that, but thank you guys for watching. See y'all back here later this week for some more trophy content.